Hi, it's Wendy again. Just a moment, I'm trying to figure out why my camera's showing me upside down. Or it's showing upside down. It's not, it's just me. So I took and I got all the pages cut and put together. I also went through and cut everything for the pockets, the different versions I have going on. And all the pages are edged with frayed burlap. I looked at, you can see I took a scrap piece of the paper and I did vintage photo, gathered twigs, and frayed burlap. And frayed burlap looked the best on the paper. So that's all done. So all the designer paper has been cut. All the folders have been cut and put together. All the different pockets, the two belly bands I'm using. The only thing I didn't cut so far is the mats for the waterfalls. And for the two of these are going to, on the back, it's going to be two large photo mats. And I didn't cut those yet. So, now, the thing, I took and I wrote down all the measurements so far. I didn't write down the mats because I haven't done the mats yet. But for the covers, the chipboard covers, we'll cut those when we come to them. I'm leaving those for the last because I want to see how big this is after I add all the papers and the pockets, and then I'll go from there. I do plan on 1/2 inch, either 3/8 or 1/2 inch in between, depending upon what I plan on doing on this. And I don't see the inside of this being real heavily decorated. I did cut the cut-aparts. I do see the front being heavily decorated, but I don't see the inside being too heavily, so I may end up going with just a 3/8 of an inch gusset between. Because if all I'm doing is paper and flat embellishments, it should be plenty. We'll see once we get the pages all done. Now, the pages themselves. Because I am doing a 6-page album, everything's cut in 6s, so you need 6 pages of cardstock cut 10 by 8, and that's this front page. Then you need 6 pages of cardstock cut 10 by 8.5, and that's the back page. Now on the back page is where I did my notch. I know some people would do the little cutout thing. I didn't do that. If you want to know, if you want me to send you an email with the notches measurements, I can. But the tabs, the first one is cut at 1 5/8. Second one is 1 5/8, 3 1/4. Third one is 3 1/4 and 4 7/8. The fourth one is 4 7/8 and 6 1/2. The fifth one is 6 1/2 and 8 1/8. And then the sixth one is 8 1/8 and 9 3/4. And that ends up being your last one. But basically all you do is, once you cut the first one, you start where the first one ends, and then just add 1 5/8 inch. If you want to make them 1 3/4, you can. There might be a little overlap. Now your designer pages, or your paper hinges, were cut 2 inches by 10 inches, or you can even do 10 1/8 just to give you a little extra. I found on a couple of them I could have used that 1/8 inch for some strange reason. I think my covers shrunk. I score them on the 2 inch side. I lay it down this way on with the 2 inch side up here. Score it 1/2 and 1 1/2, and then I flip it this way and score it the 1 inch, because that's going to make it so you have that W fold. See it there. And then you attach them so that the open wings are on the inside. So you have this, so your mountain fold is here. And that's going to attach to your hinge. For the designer paper, you have to make 2 different cuts. For the front page, which is this page here, front and back, you need to cut 2 at 7 3/4 by 9 3/4. This gives a nice edge. You know, it's about 1/8 of an inch all the way around, except for up here, and you can move that up. And I also punched my designer papers to match, and that also works on the front of this. For the back page, you cut those at 7 7/8 and 9 3/4. The height is still the same. It's the width that changes, because remember, this page was cut at 8 1/2. And by the time you cut it down, it's about 8 1/4. Or 8 1/8, something like that. So we're going to work on the first one. And I have issues with lining stuff up if I put my tape on and then remove it. Now here's the funny thing. Some people use score tape for the whole thing. I think that's all well and good. I mean, come on, you're taping paper to paper. And if you have a good quality tape, there shouldn't be a reason to worry about it. I'm just lining it up. Like I said, I'm not very good at lining up. I know somebody out there has a layer thing. I'm trying to think of what her name is. I think it's Karen Bernstein. I should have asked. But anyways, when all else fails, use your ruler. At least give yourself a straight edge. I'm not too worried about it being 1/8 of an inch from the bottom. I'd rather have a little more clearance there for my hinge. You see, that didn't even turn out right. You're going to see me struggle. It's almost like my paper isn't straight, or something's not straight. Alright, that looks good. I saw someone do this and I thought it was a great technique. Oops. And now it moves. Alright. And I got a glue goober. I'm going to leave that one piece there. That might help me. I don't know. Does anybody else have issues layering? When I'm working on larger pieces like this, I have a tremendous issue with layering. That's not good. Let's see that back end. Okay. I got my little stabilization piece on there. Remember, I'm still learning with my glue glider, my ATG gun. Ah, come on. I'm not expecting me to be perfect with it. I am expecting there to be a learning curve, and there is a learning curve. Alright, we got one piece down. Yay! Let's celebrate. Okay. So I always check my pieces to make sure that they are the right ones. And some of them I did mark. And because I need to do my tack, I'm just going to put a little piece of glue guider. And I expect as I work with this and everything, it should go down better. Or I should get more proficient at it. Well, my first Happy Meal package was received, and she really enjoyed it, so I'm very happy. I have done other exchanges, but they, you know, they were like, we exchanged floss or Afghan squares, pot holders was one, what was another one? Oh, sachets, that was a big one. I did birthday floss, I did floss exchange, and I enjoyed all those. I thought they were cool. And when my husband retired and we moved, it all just kind of stopped, and part of that is because it's such a hassle when you're involved in about 5 or 6 different things, and gotta update everybody. So I just put myself on hold and didn't take myself off. So that's kind of my fault. But so that's back, that's inside. But I did enjoy it. And I was happy that I could give her some extras, because in many ways she reminds me of me. Well, she has kids and I don't. I have a stepson who's in the Navy, and his first assignment was Tokyo, Japan. Ugh. But anyways, she's got, you know, her and my situations are a lot alike, and that we're both dealing with, I don't want to say life-threatening disabilities, but we're dealing with pain. And I think I know why my hand isn't working so well, because my elbow is acting up on me, my right one. We're both dealing with pain. We're both dealing with issues, you know, how people perceive us as disabled persons. You know, some people might say, well, if you're on disability, why did you buy so much stuff? Why are you spending... Here's the thing. I worked from the time I was 15 years old. By the time I was 25, I had enough credits in. I worked 2-3 jobs sometimes. I'm not trying to make myself out to be a martyr or anything, but when it came time to apply, I cried. I so did not want to go on disability. I actually had to do the hearing part, and the judge asked me what I would do if he asked me to walk around the block. I don't know, I think I impressed him. Because I told him, I said, I'll go do it. I'm stubborn enough to go do it, but I'd probably be in pain for the next 2 to 4 weeks. And he just kind of looked at me with a look on my lawyer. She didn't say anything. And that, when I got the award, or the letter saying I had been approved, I cried, and I told my husband, I said, somebody finally believes me that I am in pain. Because I wanted to work. I wanted to go out and earn money. But like we both said, if I'm only able to work maybe 1 day a month, it's no good for, I'm no good for an employer. Just looking for one I think I want on here. I think in this one. I'm no good for an employer. Yeah, people say, well, you can work from home. Yeah. There's an issue with that. If I sit for too long, my ankles swell up and I can barely walk. So you go, well, aren't you sitting now? Yeah. But I have my ankle or my feet up. Sometimes I'll come up with an ice pack to wear around my ankles. There are days where I cannot even get out of bed because I am in so much pain. And I just saw a YouTube video. This makes me angry. This woman was doing daily vlogs, I think they're called. She got a letter last year. From what I understand, she got a letter last year basically calling her all kinds of names, not nice names, and calling her lazy and fat, and how dare she milk the system and milk or get pity from other people, you know, and everything. And you know, and then she received another one just recently, in June or August. And it was basically the same rant, different day. Let's put it that way. So I'm listening to her read the letter, and the letter changed from an I to a we. The other thing that got me was it was sent to her post office box. Now, that tells me it is someone who is close to her. It is someone who knows a little too much detail about her family. And she needs to be looking closer to home as far as who's doing this. Because for them to have all those details and to know all that intimate stuff, they gotta be close. They gotta be within her circle, not her social media circle, but her physical, environmental circle. And excuse me, I'm looking for something. Probably over here. So she needs to take a good look at her circle of people who she actually talks to, interacts with physically, and take a good look at them. These are, if you saw my huge haul video, you saw these. These are from Hobby Lobby, and they're a fine tip squeeze bottle. Now I know some people prefer the longer tips, but I like the shorter tips. So the only thing is I cannot put the cap back on, so I need to stick a needle in it. But you know what? That doesn't bother me in the least, because I have a fine tip now. There's a fine tip now in that bottle that I can fill with glue. And I need to fill the bottle first, don't I? That's me. I'll take this one bottle. It's almost empty anyways. I was going to do this earlier. Maybe I'll go ahead and take my fuller bottle and fill it up. Take less time. Oh, I'll take my fuller one. I've got lots of big bottles of glue. I don't have little bottles. And my plan is to fill one with glossy accents. They say when you use a bottle, a smaller bottle, it works better. But anyways, getting back to the bullying, she really does need to look closer in her more physical circle, because this person had way too many physical details of her life. Yeah, she may share them online, but and the postmark was in California, Santa Ana. So I'm not sure where she lives, but she may actually have a case against the person. So, alright. So we're going to add our front pocket. And I'm going to take and make it up a little bit, so I can avoid the edge I put on here. Make sure this is up far enough. Let's see, how far do I want it up? About 3/4 of an inch. So if I line this up, and you want it straight. So if I line this up like that, I hate it when stuff moves on me. Don't laugh, okay? It works. Whatever works, right? About 3/4 of an inch up. And go right by the hinge. Looks good. I might want to do this zipper. I can get to it easier. There we go. Now it moved. There's an inch. There we go. Thing is, usually once one side is down, you're okay. Alright, so that goes there. Let's see how this works. Need to get some glue down to the bottom. I didn't fill it all the way up. I'll do that off camera. Ooh, nice fine line. I don't know if you can see that on there. But yeah, it does a nice fine line. Alright, so there we go. I might have to add a little more because it's also a learning curve when you're doing a fine line. There, we got the front done. Okay. So next, I got everything stacked up here, so I can just pull stuff and use it. So it's all stacked up. So yeah, I have everything labeled and that. Let's see. That's on the front. Like that one. Yeah, that one. Well, that's too much. Maybe this. That'll look good on that. Okay. Set this to the side temporarily. Alright. That's to remind myself of where my edge is. I took and I folded it under because that way I know that's where my edge is. so I know where my edges are. Alright. There. Now this, it doesn't seem to have a pattern to it. I mean, it's an overall pattern. But I do like to kind of see where I want it. Actually, that's laying down very well. No, it looks like I didn't even edge this one. Alright, sorry about that. Thought I edged everything. Might not have. I know I have the mini pads, but with a project this large, I think it's easier to use the larger thing. Alright, so let's get on with the bullying. The reason why it kind of resin or kind of made me think about stuff was because I was bullied as a child. And here's the funny thing. The girl who first bullied me first started out as my friend. Then she decided she didn't like me for whatever reason. And this was like in 5th grade. We were friends 3rd and 4th grade. And then in 5th grade, it started. I mean, she threatened to beat me up. She turned other girls against me and everything. And the only reason I can figure that was because I was introverted. I will admit that I'm still introverted. I read a lot. In some ways, the teachers liked me. Even though my 5th grade teacher, she was a very harsh teacher. I know at that period of time too, my folks were going through a hard time. I mean, they had 4 girls by then. My dad would occasionally get laid off. You know, so money was a little tight in that, and my mom worked, and the other thing that probably brought it about was the fact that my dad was deaf. He had been in the Navy, and he lost his hearing because he was a married man. And you know, all the young bucks, all the young kids, they wanted to go out and view the different ports. Well, Dad would go out, do whatever shopping he was going to do, which was mostly souvenirs for us. And then he'd take extra shifts from the younger ones down in the engine rooms. Well, at that time, they didn't have all the ear protection they do now, so he went deaf. And my sisters and I, we thought being military brats was cool. To us, that was cool. We had known no difference. We were born into that life. Him being deaf, it took getting used to. But I mean, we got to bring in his hearing aids. The VA, because my dad was a retired veteran, they gave us neat charts to take to school. And so that was the only reason I could think of why she did not like me after 5th grade. She finally came to the conclusion that I wasn't good enough because my dad was in the Navy. He was retired. He was deaf. He wasn't a productive citizen, though he worked. My dad worked his entire life. My dad tried retirement once and went back to work after 2 weeks. But yeah, she bullied me. Junior high was okay because we went from a small school into the big junior high, and that was fed by 6 or 7 different schools in the town. Though I did have issues with one person, and I don't know why she hated me. And that started around 9th grade. I mean, so I had like 2 years where things were okay. And there was also this other 7th grade. I do not know why she picked on me. I thought she was the stupidest thing ever. And even to this date, I find her on the class website, and she isn't doing anything spectacular. But she was a city kid who took the same bus I did from we had a bus drop-off place where you change buses. And she got there, but she was a city kid. I was considered a country kid because we lived in the country. No big deal. But she had a bug up her butt about me. So anyways, I had to deal with her. Fortunately, I had a nice friend who stood up for me. And, well, this girl, she actually got one of the boys. I had gotten on the bus after school at the junior high. I was sitting there, and my friend and I were behind. We're behind. No, that's not the one we want. Sitting behind the bus driver, and this guy came up, and at the time there was a metal bar, you know, right behind the bus driver. And what was I doing? Tying my shoe or something. Anyways, I was bending down. Guy came up and pushed on the back of my head, and I conked my head on the bar, and it hurt. So, and at that point in time, I had enough. I got up out of my seat, and the bus driver wasn't on the bus. I got up out of my seat, went back to where he was sitting, said my dad didn't raise no sissy, and punched him in the eye. He had a black eye for a few weeks, and he was a little embarrassed because he got it by a girl. You know, and then senior high, things just kind of petered out. I think we all had our own things we were doing in that, so it just kind of petered out. But I mean, I can relate to being bullied. I can relate to having someone tell you you're worthless or they don't want to be friends with you. The one girl in high school was really kind of funny. She didn't like me for some strange reason, so she turned everybody who was her friend and my friend against me, and she couldn't give a reason why. She was never able to say why she didn't like me. And I don't know, I just think it was, again, one of those things where she wanted to make herself look bigger. And the funny thing is, she was dating other girls, guys. She was not the nicest girl in town, if you know what I mean. So, it wasn't the one that was 2 years younger, it was the one in the same class as I. But, I just find it funny. Why people bully in that. And in some ways I'm glad it's come to light. But in other ways I really wish they had been more proactive years ago, so that people like me and other, who were bullied all those years ago, we didn't have any recourse. We didn't, if we complained about it, the schools just told us, well, get along. If our parents went in for it, well, we were causing trouble. Because that was the attitude then. Unless it was done in front of a teacher, and even then you weren't guaranteed. Because if that teacher liked that student, well, you were sucking. And understand, I grew up during the 60s, 70s, and 80s. So, the attitude was different then. But, I can't stand seeing anyone bullied. I think the other reason why this girl didn't care much for me was because I told her not to bully. We had special needs students who were mainstream into the curriculum. And I got to know quite a few of them because my mom worked with them. My mom was a cook at a children's home, and I would go there and I would help out the counselors. They sound silly, but I did, and I enjoyed it. So I think that also, she didn't like the fact that I told her to stop. Okay. Now on this back page here, the front page and this page are always going to be the same. We're always going to have this bottom pocket here and this side pocket. This side pocket here. The center and the back page, there's 3 different versions. This first version that I'm putting down, there's going to be a waterfall, and I'll work on that after I get all this stuff on. I know it sounds silly, but I want to get all these outside pockets and that done. Before I work, because I'll do the center one. Once I get all this down, I'll work on the center, and that's going to be 3 different versions. But what this page is going to have, it's going to have a pocket here, and then there's going to be a small waterfall up here. Or I may put a side pocket. I haven't decided yet. Hedging my bets. Oh, what I'm going to do, I don't know. I may just finish everything up and decide on that a little later, but So, but it's been hot here. We're supposed to have thunderstorms starting soon. I hope so. I just want a really good thunderstorm. You know, I don't want one where the electricity goes up, but I want one where you can lay in bed, you can see the flashes of lightning, you can hear the thunder, occasionally the windows rattle. I know it sounds silly. That's what I want. No, this is a fine tip, so I'm going to have to work on getting enough glue there. But the nice thing is I can get into that small space. Alright, so we got that done. We'll do the back. Since I'm doing the waterfall here, I think for this one, I'm just going to do a belly band. This is the belly band one. Because I'm going to do a belly band, or there's going to be 2 large bands here, or there's going to be another large pocket. I think I'm going to do a belly band on this one. I can always change. I cut extras of some of these pockets, so I can always change my mind. Don't ask me why I cut extras. Okay. Sorry, I had to look. Yeah, we're going with this one. I have to make sure my versions are in order. Okay. So we're going to do a belly band on this one. And I actually cut the belly band a little shorter than the mat. But what else I'm going to do is I'm going to put a something on the side to help hold the mat. Sorry, I gotta do a little cleanup here. There we go. Oops. But yeah, I'd love a good thunderstorm. I know I'm nuts. And my husband and I are trying to decide what to do, where to go. We were thinking of going down to Disney, where we're supposed to have a reunion. I guess it's not happening this year. So he had talked about going up to Philadelphia, or around the Philly area, to visit a friend. And I really don't want to travel that far right now. Now, why is that so short? That irks the daylights out of me. That is too short. How long is this? pardon me. It's 10 inches. So this should be at least 9 3/4, and it's not. Alright, where's my scrap part? It's that piece of work. I gotta figure out what I did with my cutter. There it is. Alright. Alright, so we need 9 3/4 by 1 3/4. That'll be used for something else. Alright. Let's go with 9 3/4. By 1 3/4. I'm going to cut the other one too short too. I'll fix it when I come to it. And I gotta distress it. My Stampers Inc. down in Shawnee, Kansas. They've got Diane Reevely coming October 31st. They've got, what's it called, Twin Divas? Oh, they've got 2 other specialty classes coming in September. You know, which I think is really good. And they're offering classes with a trunk show. So, and it's nice that Tanya, who runs it, she includes a link to the webpage of the specialty artists she's bringing in, and that way you can go and see what their stuff looks like and see if you like it or not. Because to be honest, you know, sometimes some people's stuff is not to your taste. Diane Reevely, I think she's very talented in that. But it's just not to my taste. The same with Tim Holtz. Though now he's getting more into my taste or what I like, and I never did understand steampunk. I just never did. But now I can see where some of his stuff, when I try and think about using it the way it was meant to be, I can't do it. But when I try and use it in a way that I like, then I can use it. Some of his papers and dyes and things like that. So, see, I'm not very good with this. ATG. It's going to be a while before I get really good at it. So, thank goodness for eraser, adhesive eraser, right? Alright. So we have our belly band. And I find this probably the easiest. Whoops, wrong way. Okay, people. That looks good. Oops. I gotta think about what I want to do in that center one. I can make my life simple and just do the large pocket. I can do a triple or a double pocket. I'll save those double or triples for that waterfall. That's one of these. Alright. You know what? Okay, I want to do the double tag. I want to use this one. Got that stripe there, so I'll do this one. Alright. Actually, I need 4 pieces. Like that yellow there, so let's put the blue there. Alright, we're gonna put the stripe. I'm just gonna go this way. May seem weird, but there is a method to the madness. I wish I had a different H. Let me see if I have these. Blue one, the only one that's big enough. Let's do the blue one. Because then they'll bring that in. Right now, like 5 3/4. Hey, you. Hey, you're on the camera. Move. Yeah, I got your paw. Move. Move. Your tail's gonna burn. No. want treats? Come over here. Come on. If you want them, you gotta get down. Come on. Come here. We had a drive-by visit. Okay. So I got these all prepared. I just thought of something. I need to ink this one. I need to do get down and eat your treats. Down. Mittens, now. Go. Shoo. Scat. Psst. Go find Poppy. Go play with Poppy. Well, that did it. She fell off the table. I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but she deserved it. She's being a little poop. She gets it in her head that she can do whatever she pleases. And of course, it's my fault too, because I was kind of let her. Alright, so these are the tri-pockets. What did I do with my book? There it is. Or the double pocket. These are the center pockets version C. So these are cut These are cut 6 by 10 3/8. Then they're scored on with this side at 3 7 7/8. And then the designer paper is cut 4 1/2 by 5 3/4. I mean, they're just simple little pockets that you can make. And the size ends up being 6 by 4 7/8. And the reason why I did that was because when I put them here on the center, I needed to have a little bit of room in between. So I need a pen. And then what I'm going to do is I need to miter this corner a little bit. And then where I made those 2 marks, I'm actually going to take and come in and miter into the middle, as close to the middle as I can get. Here we go. I hope I didn't do it. I think I did. Oh, that's okay, because it won't show. Scared myself. And always do a trial run to make sure that they fit. I need to cut them a little more. So and this is something you might have to do, is to do some trimming just to make sure that they fit. But this is why you do a dry fit, because believe me, if you didn't do the dry fit, you might have issues. I'm going to trim a little more from this side. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could just cut out a notch here. And do it that way. I think about doing that. I wonder this side doesn't fit. Just wait until I do the triple pocket one. See, now that fits better. And I fit both pockets on different ones, so I can see which one fits better. Okay, so I can decorate these. With that one, this one, this one. And I'm going to move it closer to the top than the bottom. The side that has more black on it will be facing down. Don't mind my gluing technique. It sucks. There we go. The thing is, if you do that where you put more of a border on the bottom, make sure you do it on both sides. Because if you don't, you'll end up a little wonky. You don't want wonkies. Figure out which way I want to put this. And I'm not worried about which side has the opening, though. I will generally put the opening to the back. If you happen to screw it up and you don't put the opening in the back, don't panic. They're not going to notice it. Unless they're really picky. In that case, they should buy store-bought. I think it's the Amish have us saying that the only thing perfect is God. Therefore, anything you create should never be perfect, because that would be an abomination in God's eyes. But actually, when you think about it, nothing is perfect. Even things that are machine made are not perfect. What? There's something more. I'm gonna put this one down. So, don't ever think that just because you screwed something up, it's something to be thrown away. Okay. I think I have pulled this one out, and I forgot to cut it down. That's it, because it's those little slivers. And in today's world, demanding everything be perfect, it's part of the problem with the kids. Everything has to be perfect. Some of them think that nothing is good enough. They gotta be perfect, and that's where where I think that feeling that every kid deserves an award thing comes in, because they don't want kids to know that you don't have to be perfect. And to me, that's wrong. I mean, not everyone can win. Not everyone can get perfect scores on anything. Not everyone can hit a home run every time. And I think today it's gotten to the point where it's ridiculous, because kids go through and they expect an award for getting up in the morning and smiling. And what good is that? It tells the kid that no matter what they do, they're gonna get something for it. I mean, when I grew up, if you were getting C's and that's the best you could do, that's what my parents were happy with that. Now, if I was failing classes, they'd have an issue. See, and this is another one. But if I was doing my best and I was getting C's, they were happy. Though I did get a lot of B's. But I mean, they were happy with that. And we as kids, we knew that we all couldn't get an award. We all knew that somebody had to, you know, get the award and be crowned the queen, and I don't know. It just kind of irks me to see these parents who go around and say, well, Sally needs an award for coming to class every day. Well, yeah. If Sally attended class every day without missing any class, I could see her getting an award, because that's a feat. But to give a kid an award for sitting in his chair for a week without burping, oh, come on. Sometimes that's how it seems. You know what? I ripped that one too bad. Okay. This is why I have extras made. You know, kids gotta realize in life, things aren't always going to be that way. They also got to realize mommy and daddy are not going to come and save their butts every time. I've heard of parents setting up interviews for their kids and going on the interview. Now come on, people. That's ridiculous. How's your kid going to know anything or be able to stand on their own 2 feet if you go to the interview, if you get them the job? Now, okay, I will admit, my mom did get me a job one time for the summer. It was at a toy factory. It was a summer job. Whoopee. They needed stitchers, and they asked my mom if she knew of anyone who who needed a job, and she said, yes, my daughter. They go, can she sew? She goes, well, she's been sewing all her life. She's had home ec. And I went in there, and my mom told me, you're on your own. If you have an issue, you don't come to me to fix it. You go to the supervisor. And I said, okay, I'll do it. And I think I'd been there about a month, and now these are heavy industrial machines, and they don't, the ones I was on, they don't sew like a normal machine. You would actually put the fabric in this way and it would go this way. There are 2 gears, and I managed to put a needle through my thumb. Don't ask me how I did it. I just did it. And I didn't go to my mom. I went up to the supervisor. I said, well, I'm not sure how I did it, but I put the needle in my thumb. She goes, okay, don't worry, it happens. So she took me over, we cleaned it, she put a Band-Aid on it, and I went back to work. And my mother, on the ride home, she's driving, and she goes, you know, I was really proud of you today. And I go, oh, why? She goes, well, for one thing, you didn't make a big scene when you got your thumb. Now, I'm lining this up so hopefully it doesn't get on the score line. Secondly, you went to the supervisor to get your assistance. You didn't come to me. I go, okay. So, I mean, I learned independence early. Now, is that a bad thing? No. Is it something that needs to be done nowadays with a lot of these kids? Yes. We also need to make them realize that pulling out a gun and shooting everybody just because you don't like how someone looked at you is the wrong thing to do. But that's a rant for another day. All I'm doing is I'm attaching these, and I put on the pocket, remove the tape from one side, and put the pocket on. I made sure it was right where I wanted it, and then I turned it over and moved the tape from the other side. Now, I ran out of my 3/8 inch, so I'm using 1/2 inch, so it actually goes over a little bit, and I'm okay with that. So, and again, I'm just sliding on the pocket, making sure it's not on the line, pushing it down, and then grabbing Come on. Okay. There we go. I rant on a lot of things. Ignore me if you don't want to listen to it. Alright, we're almost done with this first one. So we got this here. We got this pocket here. We got these two pockets here. I'm going to have to go through with glue, I think. So we got these two pockets here. We got this pocket here that's going to be joined by a waterfall. We're going to do that next. And then we have the belly band on the back. So, trying to figure out what color would go. I mean, I could do black mats. I think that's what I'll do, is black mats. Let me go into my stash and scraps. Oh, excuse me. Didn't mean for that to come out like that. Okay, and I'm going to have to cut another pocket for this. That's alright. Oh. There we go. Alright. So we're going to do a waterfall. And I know I want a small one. If I take it down, let's see, it's 6 inches to this pocket. So if I take it down to an inch, so I make them 3.5 inches. No. Take it up 1/2 inch. Make them 3 inches. Because I need to leave room here. So they'll be 3 inches wide. Okay, 3 inches. Get another one out of here. So not really how many I'm going to do. Okay. So 3 inches. Yeah, that looks good. And I know to make it no wider than because I know this one was 8.5, but I think if I make it no wider than 6.5. Because if I start here at 1/2 inch and end it at 7, I think that'll be perfect. So, make one more piece. Scrap. Alright. I know I want it 6.5. It's 3 inches. This is my template so I can make sure that they are straight. So, if I do these 3.5, because I'll do, no, 3.25, because I'll do 1/4 inch scores. So they'll be 3 by 3. 2. I think I need a new blade. 3. Alright, I need a new blade. I had a blade up here. Oh, that's mine. Alright, I have blade somewhere. Alright, so 3.25. I'm not sure how many of these I'll need, so I might have cut extras, but it's better to have too many than not enough. And besides that, I can use them, whatever's left on the other one. Alright.
Nothing like that ever happened.
I may just leave these black mats like this and just put a photo punch in. I'll see. If I have enough of the kind of plain patterns, I might put those on there. Okay. Now, I know I don't want to go further than 6.5. So, the best way to do this, do that.
All the charges were put on the shade card. Oh wait, there's a breadcrumb charge here that was signed by someone else.
This is how I do mine. You start in the bottom. I use these little ones to attach it. I just want to see how many of these it will take to do this. You know, there's another way to make a waterfall where start with the shortest piece and then but it's really bulky, I think. So I wouldn't do it. One like that. Let's go there. And I can see I'm going to need a few more already. Probably going to need about 4 more. So I'll cut 4 more, maybe 5 more. This is where your scraps come in handy because you can do the things like the waterfalls, the tags, and other things. You can also take in, if you want to take in back, like some of these things, I'm going to put on black cardstock and use them. Okay, so I'll end up making 6. That's okay, because that way I have them for, I'll have any extras where I use the extras for the next pocket page that I do the same way. So you're going to end up with 2. With what I'm doing, I will end up with 2 pages the same. So I'll have, well, it might be a little different now that I think about it, because Now I think about it, they might end up different because when you think about what I've cut out, and it's got no tape on it at all. I'll glue it. See this, I'm not good with the big ones. I'm just gonna grab my big one for right now. It's not like I'm gluing down pockets. Because with what I've cut out, see on the little scraps off? With everything I have cut out, my pockets could end up different. I mean, they're going to be the same on the front cover, but here will change. I may have, rather than having the two, I may have the one big one. I may have the double waterfall here, and I may have the belly band on the back. So, I mean, they may not all look the same, and that's the great thing about having different types. I mean, I could make another one exactly the same as this with the two pockets, the pocket waterfall, and the belly band. But I think they'll all end up different because of how I think. So, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this waterfall all ready to be put together, and I'll figure out what I'm going to do. I think I may just put I've got a photo punch, so I may just put a photo punch on the corner and leave it at that. And then when I come back, we'll finish this up and we'll start the second one. And hopefully I won't have any more issues. I do have to cut another pocket for the two pocket middle. So if you have any questions, please let me know. If you want me to try to make something, let me know and I'll try. I will generally try to make something if someone asks me to do it. So we'll leave it at that, okay? So I'll see you in a little bit.